Secret predators, hidden in the tallest grass in South America, leave almost nothing to see. Wind moves through head-high blades at dusk. Nothing steps out. Then a pair of tall ears turns above the grass line, swiveling toward a sound no camera can find. A stilt-legged shape holds still, head cocked, listening to the ground. This is the Cerrado, the most biodiverse savanna in the world, a landscape engineered to hide everything that lives in it. It has no lion and no undisputed king. It has specialists, each betting its life on a single trick. One of them is already hunting, and it has not opened its eyes to do it. In the highland grasslands of Serra da Canastra, the rivers begin and the grass grows taller than a standing man. At dusk, the wind works through it in long waves, and the whole plateau seems empty. It is not. Something is moving through the blades with its head raised, reading the air. The sound comes first, a rustle low and to the left, the small, dry scrabble of a rodent that believes it cannot be seen. The ears find it before the eyes do. A maned wolf stands motionless on legs so long they look borrowed from another animal. It is the tallest wild canid in the Americas, and those stilt-like legs lift its eyes and its ears clear of the grass, raising its head into the one layer where it can see over the blades. But the seeing is not what finds the prey. The oversized ears do that. Each one turns independently, gathering the faint, dry signatures of an animal moving unseen a body length away, and triangulating a point in the grass a few paces ahead. There is a method to the stillness. The wolf will sometimes tap a forefoot against the ground, sending a small tremor into the soil to unsettle whatever is hidden there, then wait for the answering movement to give its position away. Then it moves. The wolf springs, forelegs and muzzle punching down through the blades onto the spot the sound came from. The pounce is quick and deliberate, almost comic, a pin dropped precisely onto a target it has never seen. This is the first rule of the Cerrado. There is no pack here, and no lion driving prey into an ambush. The maned wolf lives and hunts alone, and it is built for precision rather than power. A solitary omnivore that takes small vertebrates one at a time and, just as often, eats fruit. A single animal moving quietly disturbs less and hears more than any pack would, and it needs less ground to feed itself. It patrols a wide home range by itself, meeting others of its kind rarely, and in a savanna this dense, the exact placement of a single sound is worth more than strength. That omnivore's habit complicates everything. A short distance from the flattened grass, the same hunter lowers its head to a low, sprawling plant and feeds on its round fruit. The lobera, the wolf apple, is a staple of its diet, and the wolf is its most reliable gardener, carrying the seeds across the grassland and leaving them, ready to grow, in its droppings. A predator that plants. In a savanna like this, is anything a pure hunter? The answer comes at last light. The wolf freezes again, one ear rotating, then the other. It holds. Then the same quick drive, head plunging into the grass, forelegs pinning. When it lifts its head and moves on, unhurried, the hunt has done its work. The ear hunting is real, and it does not need eyes to finish. Beyond the wolf, the campo stretches flat to the horizon, and in the distance, a few pale shapes graze. Pampas deer, cropping the open campo grass in the last of the light. They are not the wolf's quarry. It is far too small a hunter for them. They belong to a different economy of this grassland, the large grazers of the open ground, and they graze on undisturbed. The wolf and the deer share the same savanna and almost never trouble one another. The wolf moves off into the dark, alone with its narrow trick, and the campo closes behind it. But precision by ear is only one of the ways this savanna is worked, and it is far from the one that feeds the most mouths. Elsewhere in the Cerrado, in open country, this wolf will never cross. The largest supply of prey in the whole biome is being mined, not by a stalking hunter at all, but by animals that break the ground open to reach it. In the open country of Emas National Park, first light comes down on a plain that looks built. Earthen towers stand across the grassland in their thousands, some as tall as a person, packed toward the horizon in a field of dark spires. No hand built them. Each one is a termite mound, raised grain by grain over centuries, and together they form the strangest architecture in South America, a city of soil and the quiet engine of the whole savanna. If this grassland has an engine, it is here, on plains like this one. Nothing about the towers suggests food, yet almost everything on this plain is built on what moves inside them. The largest supply of prey in the Cerrado is not a herd on the grass or a run of fish in the river. It is the insects sealed inside these walls, more mouths than any herd could hold. And the animals that own that prey are not cats, they are diggers. A shape crosses the mound field, low and shaggy, a great banner of tail dragging behind it, and a long tube of a snout held close to the ground. The giant anteater reads this plain by smell alone, and it is hunting the towers. At one mound it stops, braces, and drives a foreclaw into the cured wall. The soil sets hard as brick under the sun, but the claw opens it, and the tongue goes to work, a thin whip of muscle longer than a forearm, flicking in and out faster than the eye can follow, and gathering insects by the hundred with every pass. A single anteater laps up many thousands of them in a day. It takes only a little from each mound and moves on before it does real harm. So the colony seals the breach and feeds the animal again another week. It is nearly blind, and it barely needs its eyes. Its world is scent, drawn up through that long snout in slow sweeps, and its whole body is shaped for one task: the claws to open the wall, the tongue to empty it, and a stomach that grinds what its jaws cannot chew. This is what resets the meaning of a hunter here. The giant anteater is one of the Cerrado's flagship animals, and it is a predator that will never see most of what it eats, working an entire plain of prey with a nose and a tongue. No cat can copy it. The insect economy of the mound field belongs to specialists built for it alone, and it feeds far more of this savanna than any stalking cat ever will. Then the light goes, and the mound field changes hands. After dark, a second digger comes onto the plain, heavier and stranger than the first. The giant armadillo is the largest armadillo alive, and by night it works the same towers. It is a powerful nocturnal digger, tearing open mounds with claws built for moving earth and driving down after the colony sealed inside. And in tearing the ground apart, it builds. The giant armadillo digs burrows so deep and so wide that dozens of other species shelter in them long after it has gone, a cool refuge in a plain that bakes by day and empties by night. The mound field is not one animal's larder, it is a shared economy, worked in shifts by animals that never meet, each taking the part its body was shaped to reach, and each leaving the ground a little more open for the next. By dawn, the diggers are underground or gone into cover, and the plain looks empty again, just soil and spires and the low wind. But in the soft dust between the mounds, there is a new line of prints, rounded and without claw marks, pressed deep and walking unhurried. They circle the mound field, and they stop at no tower. Nothing here has been eating termites. Something with soft feet and a long patience has been walking among the diggers, watching the animals that do. Where the grass thins and grey rock breaks through the soil, the campo opens into ground a hunter can finally read. Pampas deer graze in the middle distance. Then one lifts its head. It has caught something the eye cannot name, a shape that should not be there, a patch of stillness in the moving grass. The whole herd freezes at once, every animal turned the same way, ears forward, legs set to run. A short distance off, pressed flat to the ground, a cat has already stopped moving. The puma is the fourth strategy this savanna has produced, and the only one that closes the distance with its body rather than its senses. It does not hunt by ear like the wolf or by smell like the diggers. It stalks, using every fold of ground and every shadow as cover, holding low and still while the distance to its prey narrows. Across the Cerrado, it shares range with the larger jaguar, but it lives differently. It takes smaller prey, and it is one of the most adaptable cats in the Americas, equally at home on open campo and broken rock. Here, the outcrops matter. The puma uses the grey stone as a screen, moving from shadow to shadow along the low ridges while the deer graze below. Every pause is a calculation. The distance closes by a body length, then holds, then closes again. Then it breaks. The cat pours out of cover and the herd detonates outward, deer bounding in every direction with the stiff-legged leaps that carry them clear. On open ground, the deer's escape most often wins. The herd scatters and the stalk comes to nothing. Only a stalk that has closed the distance almost to nothing before the deer catch the danger ends in a meal. The pampas deer pay for the open ground with constant vigilance. They cannot hide in country this exposed, so they survive by watching and by speed, grazing in loose groups where many eyes cover every direction and a single alarm throws the whole herd into flight. Most stalks end that way, in a burst of leaping bodies and an empty rush. A puma that feeds one evening will miss far more often than it succeeds. But on the open campo, with cover and patience, the puma is as close to a dominant predator as this savanna offers. And that makes what happens next the more surprising. The same strategy runs into its limit when it meets a different animal. A giant anteater will sometimes leave the mound field and cross exposed country, head down, nearly blind, swinging its long snout from side to side, aware only of the soil beneath its nose. To a cat reading the campo, it looks like the easiest meal on the plain, slow, unarmed, oblivious. A puma may well shadow it, and to any onlooker, predator and prey seem already decided. They are not. An anteater does not run and does not hide because it carries its defense on its own front feet. When the pressure closes in, it rocks back onto its hind legs and its tail and rises into a different animal altogether. No longer a slow forager, but a standing wall of muscle, two forelegs spread wide, and on each foreleg a set of claws long enough to open a termite mound cured hard as brick. Those same claws open other things. This is where the stalk usually ends. A puma hunts to eat, not to be injured, and an anteater's foreclaws can cripple a cat. Faced with that display, the cat reads the cost and backs off, leaving the near-blind digger to lower itself back onto all fours and continue across the plain as though nothing had happened. The reversal is the point. The most capable hunter on the open campo has been refused, not by something larger, but by something more specialized, an animal that eats insects and answers cats with the same tools. Size settles nothing here. There is no automatic king of this grassland, only a set of specialists. Each dangerous in the one narrow way its life has shaped. Refused its easy target, the puma moves off toward the only cool line on the horizon, the dark ribbon of trees where a stream cuts through the campo. The grass gives way to shade and closed canopy, and the ground begins to fall toward water. The cat is leaving its own country now, walking into a forest that belongs to a heavier animal entirely. Where the campo finally falls toward water, the grass ends and a wall of green begins. A ribbon of tall trees follows the Rio Araguaia through the savanna, closed overhead, shadowed and damp, an entirely different country threaded through the open one. The grass hunters cannot work in here. The ground is soft, the cover is thick, and the light barely reaches the leaf litter. This narrow forest belongs to something heavier. At night, the corridor holds its breath. Something moves through the understory without hurry, setting each foot down in silence. And for a moment, 2 points of cold light hang in the dark before the shape behind them takes form. The jaguar is the largest cat in the Americas, and along this river, it is the closest thing the Cerrado has to a king. It does not hunt the way the others do. It does not listen for rodents, or stalk deer across open ground, or dig for insects. It works the water's edge, where prey has to come to drink, and it kills with a bite powerful enough to pierce a skull. That strength changes what it can take. Nothing that comes to this water is too large or too armored for the jaguar to consider. Water does not slow it either. Unlike most cats, the jaguar swims well and willingly, crossing channels and hunting from the shallows, so the river that stops the grassland hunters is simply more ground to it. The forest and the water together make a world shaped to its strengths and closed to almost everything that might rival it. And a great deal of life comes to that water. Capybara crowd the margins, the largest rodents alive, grazing the green banks in loose groups and sliding into the shallows at the first alarm. Collared peccary root through the leaf litter in tight herds, noisy and blunt and rarely alone. And out in the flooded grass at the forest's edge, marsh deer wade belly deep, the largest deer in South America, feeding on the water plants no dry ground grazer can reach. Each of them is prey. Each of them keeps to the water. And each of them, sooner or later, must share the bank with the cat that owns it. When the jaguar hunts the margin, the moment itself is rarely seen and never shared. It is strong enough to kill the heaviest animals the Cerrado offers and to drag a kill into thick cover, where it feeds alone and nothing challenges it. As the largest cat in the Americas, it is the dominant predator on this bank, and nothing that comes to the water stands above it. If any animal in the Cerrado could wear a crown, it is this one, on this bank. But the forest is filling. On the muddy shore, laid over the jaguar's own broad tracks, runs a second, smaller line of cat prints. A puma come down off the campo into ground that is not its own, pushed here by the same thing pushing everything else. The stream is thinner than it was a month ago. Pools that ran together as one water now stand apart, each one lower, each one ringed with a wider band of drying mud. And this is the turn the whole savanna has been moving toward. For most of the year, the jaguar's power stops at the water's edge, because water lies everywhere and no animal needs this particular bank. But the water is leaving. While it lasts, abundance keeps the gills scattered across the whole savanna. As it fails, that scattering starts to reverse. As the pools shrink, the edge the jaguar owns becomes the only edge there is, and everything that drinks will have to come to fewer and fewer of them. Wolves and pumas, deer and diggers alike. The one hunter strong enough to hold the best water is about to find the entire guild arriving at its door. The dry season is coming down the river ahead of them all. The rains stop, and the Cerrado begins to shrink. Across the savanna, the dry season runs long, and year on year, it runs a little longer. The grass yellows, the small pools go first, then the streams pull back into their beds toward the low seams, where palms mark a deeper source. Here, the mud cracks into plates. A waterline that stood at the reeds a month ago now sits a stride lower, ringed with the drying prints of the animals that have come to drink. Water, always the thing this savanna is built around, is becoming the thing it is short of. This is the season everything has been moving toward. For most of the year, the Cerrado works by dispersal. Each hunter alone, each on its own ground, each surviving on a single trick in a landscape wide enough to keep them apart. Maned wolves listen across empty range. Anteaters mine their mounds. Pumas hold the open campo. None of them needs to meet. What held them apart was never a truce, it was room. And the dry season is taking the room away. At the last water, the strategies that kept the guilds separate begin to matter less, because the resource that let each animal ignore the others is the resource now running short. Marsh deer wade into the shallows to feed on what still grows there. Capybara keep to the margins where the water lies deepest. And where the water still holds, jaguars follow it, drawn to the last pools inland like everything else. The jaguar is the largest and most powerful predator in the Cerrado, and it is the one animal here that nothing else will willingly contest. Where one holds a shrinking pool, the other hunters read that and keep their distance. Pumas work the edges and the night. Maned wolves swing wide and drink where the big cat is not. Anteaters, needing no open pool at all, draw most of their moisture from the insects they eat and cross the danger ground only when they must. For these few weeks, the most powerful animal in the Cerrado becomes something the savanna does not otherwise have. A figure the local guild bends around, holding a stretch of ground that is only a puddle and only until the weather changes. Then a second pressure closes the map further. On the horizon, a brown haze rises and flattens the light. The dry season fires move through the grassland, and the unburned ground shrinks again, pushing more animals toward the same wet seams. The squeeze tightens from two directions at once. And then it breaks. The rains return the way they always do, first as weight in the air and then as water, and the Cerrado refills from the sky down. The cracked pans soften. The streams find their banks. The drying prints at the last water dissolve into mud and wash away. And the crowd that Scarcity had forced together comes apart as quickly as it formed, each animal turning back toward its own country and its own trick. A jaguar's brief dominance dissolves with the puddle that made it. There was never a permanent king here to depose, only a season that lends one animal a crown and then takes it back. This is the answer the whole savannah has been keeping. The Cerrado has no apex king because it does not need one. Its hunters survive by scattering, by specializing, by staying out of each other's way until the year forces them close and then lets them go. The guild endures precisely because it comes apart again. And the thread that carries it through the hardest weeks is the water and the forested corridors that hold it. The same corridors that researchers have found are key to the survival of the Cerrado's big cats. Drain those seams, cut those ribbons of trees, and the maze that hides everything has nowhere left to hide it. Keep the water, and the savannah goes on doing what it has always done. Out on the greening campo, the grass is standing tall again, moving in long waves under a wet wind. A single set of tall ears turns above the blades, reading ground no camera can see. The hunt begins again, alone, exactly where it started. The rains keep coming, and the maze fills back in. Water spreads into the low seams, the mounds soften, and the pools that everything fought over widen until they are just water again, worth no one's blood. The animals that Scarcity pressed together have already turned their backs on one another. Each walking off into the country that hides it best. There is nothing left to hold, and no one left to hold it. Out on the wet campo, a lone wolf steps through the standing grass, ears turning toward a sound in the ground, and is gone before the blades close behind it.